Welcome to the Northeast chapter of Plaid for Women. Our speaker today, as you all know, is Miss Sandy Mitchell. Most of you have met her. She is our personal coach for me, for Plaid. Because I'm in Plaid leadership, I get a call from her once a month to go over things, to stay on track. I glean so much from her, and the encouragement is very important, but the direction she gives is even more important. And she's not afraid to tell me when I need to straighten up and fly right. So that's what I think I love the best about her. She is indeed a person of integrity, no matter what she's doing. So I would like you all to put your hands together and welcome Miss Sandy Mitchell.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. When Nancy called and asked if I would speak today, she didn't ask me to speak on anything that I normally speak on. She read one of my blogs on being a person of integrity, and I was like, really? Of all the blogs that I wrote, you chose the one that was the most vulnerable for me? That's not fun for me to speak on. So let me ask you this. How many of you made New Year's resolutions this year? No? It's so very good. Yeah, because what the research says that only about 40% of the people make resolutions. Only 30% watch the Super Bowl, so that's America. But only 8% finish them by the end of the year. Why? Because we don't hold the promises that we make to ourselves as important as the promises that we make to others. Oh, does that hurt? That hurts me. Let me ask you this. When you are looking at the word integrity, what are some of the words that come to mind? Integrant.
Make it part of your life.
Yeah. What else?
Honesty.
Trustworthy? Honest?
Mm-hmm.
Consciousness?
Ethical.
Ethical? Absolutely.
Reliable.
Reliable?
Do what you say you're going to do.
Yes. And that's so important for us, right? All the research says that when you're out there and you're saying what's really important to you in somebody else, integrity and honesty, they're the top ones that people talk about. It's really important for us to have integrity outside of ourselves. So what's your definition of personal integrity?
Keeping promises to yourself.
Yeah. That's what mine is too. And I don't know about you, how many of you had the gene that my mom passed on that volunteers for everything, that says yes to everything? That was the worst thing she could have given me. But she did it lovingly. Yeah, I'm horrible. I'm always out there. Somebody asks me to do something, yes, of course I'll do that. And then I go home and I'm like, oh crap. I can't believe I said yes to that. So what I'm looking for is, how do we go on a diet? How do we go on a project diet? How do we go on a promise diet? Because we go out there, we look at the buffet and we say yes to everything. And then you get your little plate and it's just overflowing, and you get home and you're like, oh, God, I can't. I'm too full. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to put ourselves on a promise diet? When you are looking at the way we react to things, it starts off with our thoughts. So science says that our thoughts turn into feelings, and our feelings turn into actions. And if we don't like the way we're acting, if we don't like the reactions that we're having, if we don't like the responses that we're having, we can't just change the feelings. We can't just say, oh, it's okay, I'll just get over it, right? Because our thoughts, that little voice in your head that comes up and it starts talking louder and louder, and it gets mad, and it gets you mad, and it gets you where you're feeling bad about it, unless you change the thoughts, your actions can't change. Now, when something is important to us, we're going to do it, right? When your passport's due, you do it. When the shots are due for your kids, you do it. When you have to put gas in the car, you do it. One of the things is we do things that we know we have to do. And in our minds, because we want to be people of integrity, we do things that we say we're going to do for others. which leaves us about this much time or negative time to do stuff for ourselves. I'm already worn out. Are y'all so let's do some things to make it exciting, right? Let's say how we can become people of integrity. One of the things that I think is really important, I found this quote that I thought was really fun. It's by, the over 50 world, by Juan Mascaro. It says, the thought manifests the word manifests the deed develops into habit, and habit hardens into character. So watch the thought and its ways with care. As we think, so we become. On your tables, turned over, are some just handouts, because that's how I think. I write to help me think. So if you want to write and think, you can do that. It's all about what are we going to do to build the character, because you can't build personal integrity in a day or a month or a year. It's something that you have to do consistently. It's something that has to grow in you, to become integral to who you are. Right? And so the way to do that is to be able to make the right promises to yourself. And then as we move into this, how do you have those pillars that will say, how do I make the goals that I'm actually going to follow? So before I get into the goal setting, it's how do you keep promises to yourself? One of the things that I found, I've got 3 questions I think you should ask yourself. The first question is, who really wants this? Is it you? Is it the person that asked you to do something? Is it society? Who's telling you you should lose 30 pounds? Who's telling you you should learn Italian? Who's telling you that you should take a trip across the world? Who's telling you that you need to volunteer? Is it you? Is it something that fits with who you are? Or is it something that somebody says, oh, you know what, society says you need to be a size 00. I'm a 00 plus. So really figure out who wants this. Because if it's not you that wants it, that will enable you to not follow through. It gives you more opportunities to do that. The second question is, what do you really want? So, I don't know if any of you have done this. I get up, I say, okay, so this week, I'm going to, 5 days a week, I'm going to get up at 5:30 and I'm going to exercise and I'm going to really do strength training and cardio training and woohoo! By day 3, I'm tired, but I do it. By day 4, I hit the snooze button. By day 5, I'm like, look, I've done it 4 days already. Why do we really want that? Do I want it because I want the strength and cardio training at 5:30? Do I want it because I want the health? If I want the health, is that the only way I can do it? Is 5:30 in the morning? No. There's other ways of doing it. So sometimes we put limits on ourselves because of the promises that we make, not realizing that there are alternatives that could be more effective for us. So what do you really want? Really get into that. And then the last question is, what are the prerequisites? You remember in school how the classes that you really wanted to take, you had to have all these stupid prerequisites for it? They weren't fun, but if you didn't have that knowledge, then you wouldn't be able to do what you needed to do. What are the prerequisites for the promises that you're making? If you say you need to lose 30 pounds by summer, have you done the work, the prerequisites to say, all right, have I dealt with the food issues in my mind? Because God knows I've been on diets all my life. I have lost more weight than all of you combined. And it keeps finding me back. Have I dealt with the issues in my brain? Have I found the ways that are healthy for me to go lose the weight? You have to do some of those prerequisites before you can say, okay, then I'm actually going to do this. The more you can answer these 3 questions, the better it's going to be for you to be able to actually follow through on the promise that you're making to yourself. You can absolutely apply these to other people, but I think if you could apply this to yourself, it's really, really strong. There is, one of the things about keeping promises to yourself and building that integrity day after day is finding your dream and what are the steps you need to take the dream, which is where the goal setting comes in, right? If we're going to change our thoughts so that we have new feelings, so that we have new actions, that's something you have to consciously be aware of. So what I'm going to talk about, not the regular goal setting, because we've all done the regular goal setting, right? But because we coaches have to look into the why of things, I want to give you 4 pillars of the Disney philosophy on how you can be successful in your goal setting, and you're keeping promises to yourself. So y'all all know Walt Disney, right? So he wanted to create the happiest place on earth, and now he's created them all over the world. And they're fun places. I love going. One of the things that I get to do, because I don't have any children, I've adopted my nieces and nephews, and I take them when they were little, like 9, 10. They got to go anywhere in the United States they wanted to go. And so I've been to Disneyland or Disney World 7 times in 4 years. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Love it, love it, love it. So Disney, somebody asked him, he said, so how do you do what you do? How are you as successful as you are? And he said, well, I dream. And then I test my dreams against my beliefs. And then I dare to take risks. And I execute my vision to make those dreams come true. So the 4 pillars are dream, believe, dare, and do. Dream, believe, dare, and do. So let's talk a little bit about those. To dream, right? You want to be able to inspire yourself. You want to be able to say, what is that thing that's going to make me so excited I'm going to be willing to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go do it? Or Liz is going to, this is just driving me, I don't understand it. She and her son are going on a 50-mile hike, 50, on purpose. There's a lot of preparation that needs to happen, right? But they've got to dream of what they want after that. So the first thing you have to do is you have to relax. You have to find a spot, because we in this society are so microwave-oriented, we're not crock-pot-oriented at all. Find a spot that you can sit down, you can turn off the TV, you can turn off the family, you can turn off the work, and just sit with yourself and say, what would I like to do? Here's some questions that you can ask yourself. So what's the thing that would get a really big smile on your face? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you start to dream about? What one goal or a wish or dream keeps popping up every time you think about the future? What do you want to accomplish more than anything else? Or what keeps you up at night? It's those questions that get your mind going, saying, what if? What if? It's one of my favorite, my team, they just hated it. Every time I came in, I said, what if? And I come on, we need more work. But I love to dream. I love to dream. And I love to help my clients dream. Because one of the things that I have found, my focus is on women leaders in technology, engineering, kind of those male-dominated worlds, right? Most of the time, they are so busy they don't have time to dream. Because not only do they have to take care of the little boys at work, but they have to take care of their family at home too. And they're on to-go mode. I've been all over the world, and I've been in a lot of third world countries, and many of them, they don't even know what to dream means, because they are just trying to live day to day. You are in an incredible position in this world. You are in the top 10%. No matter how poor you are in the United States, you are in the top of the financial world. You have time to sit and turn everything off and say, what do I want? What do I really want? What is it that's going to really make me excited about doing this? What you want to do is just brainstorm, right? Just get it all out on paper. And then, this could even take like 5 minutes. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. Then take those and bring it down to what are the top 3? What are the top 3 that are the most compelling for you? What are the ones that if you accomplish even part of it would make you feel like, man, I am really making progress to being who I want to be, doing what I want to do, having what I want to have. It's so exciting to be in part of this, in this dream mode, right? So you've got these 3 dreams. what I want you to do is rank them. So that the number one is the most compelling thing. If you do this, it is an incredible step in making yourself say, am I doing what I want to do? So the second part of this is believe. So my assumption is, and this is probably a pretty big assumption, my assumption is that you have defined what your vision and your values are. If you haven't, do it. Because it's really important that you know where you want to go and you know what your values are. One of the biggest issues that I have with the clients that come into me is that there's this dissonance that's going on and they don't know what it is. And when we sit down and we look at their values, because most of them, they say, well, of course I have values, but they never really define what they are. And then they realize, oh my gosh, the culture at work is so different than my values. That's why there's dissonance. So make sure that you have a vision, make sure that you have your values, and then compare this dream against those. Does it support, is it in alignment with your vision? Is it in alignment with your values? Is it going to help you get closer to where you want to be? And then you need to be able to decide, when you say, I want to believe, this is when you're turning your dream into a burning desire. This is when it starts to get that fire. When you start to say, oh, I can't help but want to do this. This is when you say, I can do this. And not only can I do it, but I am the one that can do it. Not only can it be done, but I'm the one that can do it. You've probably all heard that thing, what the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. It's really true. We manifest what we think about. So I have a friend who consistently gets men who abuse her. She consistently chooses those men. She thinks men are scum. She thinks men are not trustworthy. But the fact that she keeps thinking that, that's the men that she keeps attracting. She expects a man to be that way, and so that's the kind of people who come to her. If you expect, like me, that you're a lucky Parker, you almost always get a lucky parking spot. And you know why? Because research says that people who think they're lucky spend more time making sure they're lucky. I'll go around the parking lot a couple of times and then I'll look, it opened up just for me. Whereas my mom, she's not a lucky parker. She always has to park in the back. But if she had gone into the front, what you think about manifests. So start believing that you can do what you want to do. Start believing that it's something that can actually happen in your life. Make sure that you get that picture in your mind. What is it going to look like? What are the senses? Use all your senses. What is the real picture going to look like when I have success? When I achieve this dream? Who's going to be there with me? What am I going to look like? What am I going to have? What am I going to do? What am I going to be? Really make it some picture so that it's so real, it becomes a memory in your head. Then, all the obstacles that will come your way, you're like, yeah, but I already have this. So how do I get around this obstacle? Or through it, or under it, or over it? If you don't have that picture, then it's way easier for you to say, you know what, I'm just going to give it up. I'm just not going to do it. The next one is, I should probably tell you, so what's mine, right? So my vision is, for my dream, is to help girls around the world have positive change. And then what it really looks like for me, two things. One, I want to help girls in the United States go into science and technology and math and those areas because they have 9% of the C-suite in technology now are women. 9%. And girls have such an incredible aptitude for science and math and technology, but they don't have the appetite. And I know that our world can change if we can get girls into the leadership roles. Because women leaders are incredible. The way we deal with relationships and the way we're able to get things in collaboration, it's a great balance with men leadership, right? We don't have enough. So if we can get girls excited about it from the beginning, then it can grow into women leaders. And what I want to do from a worldwide perspective is help all of those other countries that don't believe girls need to go to school. So really become part of that shift of helping women believe that their daughters should go to school. Because if a woman changes, the country changes. So that's my question. Did that sound passionate to you? That's what you want. You want something that just makes, I've got goosebumps now. It just makes you so excited talking about it. So that when I have to go to Harmony Science Academy and talk to the kids, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I'm surrounded by girls. It is so much fun. But I was not excited about going because I had a lot of other things I needed to do. You get that constant reaffirmation when you continue to do what you do. And when you continue to do what you do, then you continue to get excited, which continues the momentum of moving forward. And then the next thing is to dare. So in daring, you want to turn that burning desire into actual goals. So here's the thing. When you turn it into a burning desire, it's that you think it can be done and that you can do it, but it's still in your head, right? When you're daring, you dare to take big risks. It's when you say, not only can I do it, but I will do it. So what are the steps that you need to take? Take that one dream that you picked. What is one goal from that dream that you can accomplish this year? And write it down. And then from that goal, you know all the other stuff you need to do, right? You take what's the first step you need to take, what's the last step, what are all the steps in between? What's the thing that you need to do day after day after day? A little bitty baby step is so much more powerful than inaction. So what can you do on a daily basis to help build that personal integrity, to help get you closer? I talk about this with my clients all the time. What's the baby step you can take that will get the next step going? Because once you get enough baby steps going, you're like, oh my gosh, look how far I've come. And all I did were little things. Make sure that you write it down. And the big thing is to make sure you calendar it. Put the timeline on it. I have those regular things that you do. But if you put it on your calendar, I think this is what Nancy probably found in my blog, because what I promised was I wasn't going to put anything on my calendar that I wasn't going to do. Because I was notorious about saying, oh yeah, and I'll put it on my calendar. And my calendar was so overrun that I would want to stay in bed and put the covers over my head because I couldn't handle it anymore. And now I make sure that I have at least 40% of my calendar that's open. Because I want to be able to create, and I want to be able to move, and I want to be able to take advantage of opportunities, which is what the do part of it is. The do is actually do it, right? When you put your voice out there, when you say, this is what I'm going to achieve, the universe colludes with you. And it says, all right, so I'm going to give you opportunities. And the thing is, if your calendar is so overrun with everything else that you can't take advantage of the opportunities, you're at a loss. So be able to do something. Take those baby steps. Write it down. If you write it down, you're in the top 3% of the world because you've just written down your goals. And if you actually review your goals and see how you're doing against it, you're in the top 1%. Crazy. But Harvard says that's what makes the most successful people. The ones who write it down and the ones who will follow through and review it and see how it's going. So what's your dream? What do you want to do in this world? How do you want to show up? What do you want to be able to change in this world? Do you believe that you can do it? Do you have that burning desire inside that says, you know what, I got this picture in my mind and I've got to see it through? Are you daring to take the risks that are necessary to step forward and make it happen? Are you willing to do what needs to be done? Are you willing to take those baby steps? I have one last quote for you that I wanted to read. This is from Heraclitus, very famous ancient guy. He says, only allow yourself to think those thoughts that match your principles and can bear the bright light of day. Day by day, your choices, your thoughts, your actions fashion the person that you become. Your integrity determines your destiny. So all of this is about your promises to yourself. So I want you to go out and dream and believe and dare and do yourself right into personal integrity. To our success.